The 15-Point Plan is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the 15-Point Plan podcast. Our mission is to help give you tools and conversations that will increase your happiness and energy and decrease your stress. Isn't that what we all want, Ryan?
That is all I want most of the time, Jacqueline, is just a little more energy and sometimes a lot less stress, frankly. Yeah. But, a little bit less stress over time leads to a lot less stress. So yes, a little more energy and a little bit less stress.
Yeah. So we've been going through, if you've been following along, we've been rereading one of our favorite books from one of our favorite authors, Brendon Burchard's High Performance Habits. And it's just been, I've really enjoyed this format. It's forced me to slow down and actually, contemplate what I'm reading instead of just kind of like powering through a book as fast as I can. So what we've been doing is we've actually been reading, like we've both read the book before, but rereading just the one chapter that we're going to talk about on the episode so that it's fresh and, you've got lots of time to think through and reflect on things. So this habit that we're on is habit number 6, which is the final of the 6 habits in the book. Next episode, we are going to do a little bonus. He talks about the 3 traps. So we're going to talk about that next time. But this time we're talking about demonstrating courage. And this was probably, I think I've said this about every habit, every chapter, haven't I? It's my favorite one. What did you think, Ryan?
I love the whole book, Jacqueline, but I won't lie, this is not my favorite. And I think partially because you definitely have to be vulnerable to do this. You have to be vulnerable to demonstrate courage. Like Brendon talks about stepping forward and demonstrating courage, being bold, even when it's uncomfortable, taking that step, taking that leap, even when it's uncomfortable. And so in regards to the 15-point plan, there's a lot of things on there that are uncomfortable to just go and be bold and start doing, like, oh, I'm just going to go to the gym, or, oh, I'm just going to start meditating, or I'm just going to talk about meditation, or I'm going to talk about journaling, or I'm going to hop on social media and make a video. Like, that takes a lot of courage. And the point is you just got to go do it. Don't wait until you have ... Just do it. And those things will come with doing it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of waiting for you. You're like, go to the gym, post on social media, climb a mountain, like what you're about to do.
Yeah.
Get your pilot's license, fly in a plane. Some of you are crazy and like to jump out of them, but I just want to fly them. But, my favorite part of this chapter, I think why I liked it so much, is just the concept he talked about, that it's actually not a personality trait. Don't you think people think that? Like, you're like, oh, wow, you're brave, or you're courageous, or that person's, confident, or that person's like fill in the blank. Courage is actually a skill. So it's not something like you're born with courage or you're born without it. So maybe that's why I liked it so much, because it's, I like to be able to impact change, and I like to be able to grow. And so when I find out something's not fixed, that I can actually train myself to be more courageous, well, that kind of gets me fired up. Because, if courage, I think I did kind of think that, like, some people just have more courage than others, and that I have the courage I have, and that it's kind of fixed.
I think you're right. And I think, of course, some people have more courage than others in some areas. But what Brendon says is courage is a habit. It's not just a one-time act. And that, to me, makes a lot of sense. And when we do these smaller things and are bold in the smaller things in our life, well, then we can be more courageous in the bigger things in our life. And so, again, looking in regards to the 15-point plan and how this applies, well, if we can build these habits and be bold in these habits, and we can take the small steps daily, then when the harder or the bigger things come and it's time to maybe be vulnerable in ways that we don't want to be, we're going to be a lot more likely to do that and be bold in that way because we've built that habit.
Absolutely. It's like the concept of stacking small wins, right? So, or keeping the small promises to yourself. They say, like, if you're faithful in little, right, you'll be faithful when you have much. So it's the same concept. It's is the 15-point plan, especially since you decide how you gain that point every day. So, like we've talked about it lots before, if you haven't been active and you aren't you haven't built the habit of working out, for you, your movement point might be doing some stretches every day or doing a 20-minute walk. Or you could be like my husband, who hadn't been training at all and decide, hey, I'm turning 50 this year. I'm going to sign up for a marathon. That probably took some courage to sign up for a marathon, for one, but also to tell the world that you're going to do it.
When is Phil's marathon, by the way, Jacqueline?
It's the Chicago Marathon. It is, I believe it's October 12th.
Oh, that's
So,
coming up quickly.
yes, it is.
October
Sure.
12th. So if you're listening to this, it's probably right around mid-August, September. If you're listening to it currently, if you're listening back to it, gosh, maybe it's already happened. And I imagine Phil has already done. I can just picture Phil across that finish line, his beautiful hair flowing in the wind. How cool though. But I mean, talk about being courageous.
Yeah.
Talk about demonstrating courage and talk about inspiring people. Like, so Phil, that's like a 50th birthday celebration. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so Phil's a dad, right?
Mhm.
Phil is a business person. Phil
Yep.
is now going to inspire so many people by being a 50-year-old male running a marathon. Like, being 50, male or female, and running a marathon takes a lot of courage. And like, wait, going to do it in Chicago in like partially fall time. I don't know what the weather's like in Chicago, but I imagine it's not a beautiful sunny day at that time. So that takes some courage. And by demonstrating that courage, but through movement of doing a marathon, imagine the ripple effect that's going to have on Phil's life. And I love this idea. We've talked about this before, of having something on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Phil's got to be training. He's got, from the moment he made that decision until that marathon, he's got to be training. And the cool thing about it, unless you're a complete psycho, is you really do have to take some time to train for a marathon. And what we know about habits is, they say, on average, 66 days, maybe 100 days to actually build a habit. If you're going from not running all that much to now going and running, 26.2 miles for a marathon, that is likely, again, unless you're a total psycho, that is likely going to take you longer than 66 days or 100 days or a few months of training. And by the end of that, Jacqueline, I've heard you say this, so I'm not a runner. Phil's going to walk out of that marathon saying, I'm a freaking runner.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a runner. And now he is not only a marathon, somebody that's completed a marathon, but he's actually a new person. And he's going into that 50th year of his life. What a cool milestone. As a new person. Like, he has changed his mentality around who he is, because now Phil has demonstrated the courage in taking action through movement of doing a marathon. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm super proud of him and all of the training that he's doing. And we've talked about it. And it is scary to sign up for a marathon and agree to do all this training, and there's injuries. And I think that's another common misconception, is that, that people who have courage, that they don't have the fear, right? So, like, we can look at someone that's doing something that we want to do and think, wow, like, that person, like, I wish I could be courageous like that, but I have all this fear. Well, you don't even need courage if you don't have the fear.
That's right.
So, like, it's kind of this thing where, you build confidence in yourself when you do things that are outside of your comfort zone. You can't actually build confidence when you just do things in your comfort zone. So if you don't ever do things that require you to have courage, hence you don't ever do things that have any sense of fear attached to it, right, then you're actually not demonstrating the habit of courage, because you're just avoiding situations or circumstances where you have to have courage. You're just staying in your comfort zone. And so I think that's just like I think that's why I liked it so much, is because we often think, like, I look at people that speak on stages and I'm like, I wish I could be that confident and,
Hmm.
that comfortable. And then you realize when you get to talk to these people, like, they get super nervous too.
Yeah.
Just like you get super nervous. The only difference is they actually do it anyways. And they put in the reps. And that is where you say, like, it is a habit, right? It's a habit to demonstrate courage. And so I think sometimes on the 15-point plan, this could even apply to the first point, which is goals.
That's right.
Are you setting goals like Phil did that are completely outside of your comfort zone? Like you are, you're going to, climb a mountain and,
Right.
and hit like some world records and stuff. Like, what are you doing in your life to put yourself in a position where you actually do need to cultivate and generate and demonstrate courage in your life? And that starts with point number one. What kind of goals are you setting in your life?
You know, what's kind of neat the other day was my son, who's 13, Bentley, and my amazing partner's son, Zeth. They won the championships in their soccer game.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 weekends ago, they won the actual championships in their soccer game. And
That's
about
awesome.
30 minutes into the car ride home, they're like, this is wearing off pretty quickly. Like, this was really cool, but they were kind of getting like the what's next syndrome.
Ah,
And as I'm picturing Phil again with his beautiful hair crossing that finish line, or me like coming down from Mount Kilimanjaro in a world record time and maybe hanging that world record plaque, we have to remind ourselves that the goal is not the reward, that the reward actually comes with the person that we become along the way towards working towards that goal. So my teenage kids, like they had to train to win that. Now they have a championship mentality. But what was funny and where we got to be careful, and the lesson I learned and they learned was, guess what? Next weekend, they came back, they lost 3 games in a row. So if we think that we can just go sign up for these massive goals and now we're good forever, and I think that's another area of demonstrating courage. And like you mentioned, of staying in this growth mindset,
mm-hmm.
is we have to demonstrate the courage to remain humble and to get that victory, but then to put that victory aside and keep going. So Phil's going to run the marathon, and you got to enjoy that. You got to hold that medal and you got to go celebrate for a minute, but then you got to remind yourself, now what?
Yeah.
And it's the leadership dilemma, right? It's like, okay, well, I've got this. I sold my 50 houses and hit my goal. Now what? What's next?
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's always another literal mountain to climb. So reminding ourselves, we set goals not just to accomplish that goal, but we set goals to help us become the person we have to become along the way in order to hit that. And that demonstrates courage to me.
That's so good, Brian. I think too, when you kind of mentioned this about Phil and the ripple effect, when we respond and demonstrate courage in life in whatever area it is, it does inspire other people. And, whether it's your kids or, people you don't even know on social media, you are making an impact just by doing things that are outside of your comfort zone. You inspire other people to do things outside of their comfort zone, and it becomes, this ripple effect. And if we all just like stayed comfortable in our little bubbles, how boring would life be?
We don't just become the lump on the log in that case, Jacqueline, we become the log.
Oh, yeah.
but
Wow.
but what's interesting is, I don't know if you've realized this, Jacqueline. Was it your idea or Phil's idea to do 75 hard the first time?
Um, he's going to listen to this and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the first time it was my idea.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling it was your idea. And even if you were wrong, I know Phil, and he's a dang good husband. He's not going to correct you. But what I'm getting at, Jacqueline, is back to demonstrating courage, back to being bold, and back to inspiring others. You decided to sign up for that 75 hard, which meant you
Yeah.
had to do a workout in the morning and a workout in the afternoon, one of which had to be outside. One of your workouts was an outdoor walk or maybe even a run, which led to you saying, I'm not a runner. But now here you are running on a freaking track, doing sprints, doing all these things. You actually, in that process, became a runner. And look what type of inspiration that caused. that Phil is now doing a marathon. So I think you should give yourself a little bit of credit in demonstrating courage and being bold by signing up for that first 75 hard, by grabbing Phil by the hand, literally, and going for those walks, because then that picked up into going for runs, and then that picked up to going to the track. And now you've inspired somebody to go do a marathon, I think. So I think that's really exceptional.
Well, who really truly inspired him to do this marathon? I'll give a shout out to Melinda. She's on our team here on Evergreen Real Estate Partners, but she is just, oh my gosh, I always tell her that she's like a superhuman phenom. She runs marathons and she's just really good. We actually went to New York to watch her run the marathon there.
Oh, wow.
Last fall. And that's where Phil got the bug. He was like, this is awesome. Just the energy of the people, down there at Central Park. We were there watching her cross the finish line, and he just got the inspiration. And that's when he made the decision that he wanted to do it. He asked me to do it. And I was like, no way,
Not yet, Jacqueline, not yet.
Yeah. So you never know what your courage will do in someone else's world. So go out there and be courageous this week. Do something bold and get out of your comfort zone.
That's right. Get out of your comfort zone, because we know that's where the growth comes from. So ask yourself, what is one point on the 15-point plan that I can be bold at, that I can demonstrate courage at, maybe even find a friend or a family member and grab them by the hand, just like Jacqueline did with Phil. Take them for that walk, sit down with them, find some nutritious food for them. Write out your goals with them. I mean, talk about a good date. Dang it. Write out your goals. Talk about some things that will inspire you to take action and be courageous. We are coming to a wrap, Jacqueline, of Brendon Burchard's High Performance Habits. We've gone over the 6 habits. Yep. Don't forget, you can listen to all of our previous podcasts as well as all other podcasts at winmakegive.com. But don't stop listening, because next week we're getting into the 3 traps, the 3 success traps from Brendon Burchard's High Performance Habits. So we've recapped all 6 habits, but we got a quick recap for you that you don't want to miss next week. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to check Jacqueline and myself on social media, Jacqueline Ray Smith and Ryan Park Greigg. Until next time, bye everyone.
Bye everyone.